All right, I'm done with choosing the photo. I know the photo that I want to work with, and now I need to put it through a very, very simple raw processing, which is a big word for just simply getting some details back into the photo before I take it into editing. Very, very simple. Now, there's two ways of almost identical ways of doing the same thing. Now the thing is this, there's the Lightroom Classic going into Photoshop way, and there's the directly opening up a new file to Photoshop way, right? So usually how it goes, like in the classic way, is if I'm inside of Photoshop, I will just hit open right here. I'm going to find the raw photo that I'm looking for. And if it's a raw photo, and for example, let's take this one here. If it's a raw photo, so Photoshop will automatically open this dialog box that has almost identically the sliders that that appear inside of Lightroom Classic, and then I will do my adjustments right here. The thing is, and you know, these sliders, exposure, contrast, highlights, these are the sliders that are important for the phase of the raw processing, which is all we're doing right now. But I'm going to hit cancel, and I'm going to show you what happens if I do it in the so-called Lightroom Classic way. The thing is this, I need to do the raw processing straight inside of Lightroom before I go into Photoshop. So for example, I'm going to show you the only thing that I need to do right now for the raw processing, and you can take the same idea and do it inside of Camera Raw if you decide to do it from Photoshop. Either way, it's the same stuff, okay? Just wanted to make that clear. What I need to do in the raw processing is get detail. I want to have details, and what's missing here, as you can see, is some detail around the hair, around different parts of the photo, maybe in his crouch and the hair here, and a shade around the right side of his forehead right here. I'm missing some details. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the shadows this time, and I'm going to crank up the shadows, and look, I'm getting a lot of the detail. I'm getting them here in the hair. Okay, so that's all I wanted. I can play around with other sliders. I don't want to, I have nothing to work on with the highlights. I can always do that separately later, but I saw something which was important, and that was like getting back some of the shadows. If I had something extremely highlighted, so maybe I would take the slider of the highlights down, but in this particular example, the only details that I was missing were in the shadows. So that's enough for me. I'm just going to right click now, and then I'm going to click edit inside of Photoshop, and it's just going to bypass the Camera Raw pop-up window that usually opens when you import something from inside Photoshop. And there you have it. Now we have the file. So just a quick way, if you still need the reminder, if I want to do it through Photoshop and not from Lightroom, so I go and I open up a new file, and I'm going to choose any file here inside Photoshop, any file which is a raw file, right? A raw photo. I'm going to click, for example, this one, and when I do that, it's going to automatically open up Camera Raw. That's the only thing. So here again, you do the same stuff, you do the same things, and that's it. Once you get your details back, you're ready to start editing the photo. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next lesson.